Jai Baba,
Jai Baba.
Jai Baba, Jai Baba. So three times Avatar, Bhir Baba ki Jai.
Yes.
You will call us.
Avatar, Meher Baba,
Baba
Ki
ki
Jai.
jai.
Avatar,
Avatar Meher Baba ki
Ki
jai.
Jai. Avatar,
Avatar Meher Baba
Meher
ki
Baba
Ki
Ki
Jai.
Jai. Oh,
jai.
welcome, Pratap. Oh, we are excited to hear you.
Thank you so much, all of you.
Now we have echo. Let's see.
It is so very blissful to find smiling faces, to see all smiling faces. Now, what I intend to speak today is something after what we left last time. As the activities in Pune, they were in their preliminary stage. And the only,
There's an echo.
sorry, can you hear? Can you hear me?
I hear you, and then I hear it again. It's an echo. Does
Yeah,
everybody?
that echo is there. It is disturbing me also. That echo.
Betty, can you mute VIVO 1610?
I very much not conversant to all these technicalities. Jyoti,
Now it's better.
let us now it is all right. It is all right. I think so. So, as the activities in Pune, they were gradually taking shape. The only senior people were, first was Ramchandra Gadekar, who had his involvement in young group of people like us, like me. There were students, they were young people who were just in service. And another was business class people. There were many people who were owning footwear shops in Pune. And a very large group of all the owners of the footwear shops, they had started loving Baba, taking interest in Baba. So that was Mr. Gadekar. He was attending to them also. And at times, whenever he gets time, he will attend to us also. And this went on till the entry of Dr. Ghani in our group. Once it so happened that Gadekar brought Dr. Ghani to one of our programs, one of our weekly programs. And looking these young boys and girls taking keen interest in Meher Baba, Ghani was very much impressed about.
Looks like we have a bit of freezing happening. Jyoti, if you're hearing us, your Pratap is frozen. So Dr. Gadekar was, oh boy, was really instrumental. I guess I will pause. All right. We don't hear you. We do not hear your voice. Can you hear us?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, yes. Now it's fine. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you, Jyoti. Is it Jyoti who's helping you? Oh, no. Wow. We do not hear you still. We see you, but not hear you. What a trouble. No, not hearing you. Not hearing you.
Not here.
Yeah, what now? Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Can
Yes.
you hear me now?
Yes.
Oh, thanks, Baba.
Okay.
Now, what I was just saying is
Oh dear.
about Dr. Gani's entry in the young groups of Pune. Many of the people, practically many of the boys were students and somewhere had just taken some jobs. Even Madhusudan that time was very young and he has started just his government job. So also other people, and very energetic young group was formed, and Gani had started attending the meetings of this group regularly. The meetings were being held in the premises of a government hostel. It was a hostel run by government for the boys and girls, not girls. It was not for girls. From the boys from the villages and some remote villages, illiterate people, downtrodden people, such boys were taken into this hostel and everything was free there. And one Mr. person by name Thade, Lakshmikant Thade, he was the superintendent of that hostel. And because of his efforts, I was actually not qualified for the admission in the hostel because I was not fulfilling the conditions. But then, because of his efforts, I could get admission, and the path of my life to take education was freed from difficulties because of my father's death, our family was facing a very hard time, and this admission in the hostel was a solace for me. At least I could continue my education, and so my life in the hostel had started. Along with my life with Mehr Baba, in contact with Mehr Baba, I started attending Baba programs along with Mr. Thade. Why Thade was taking so much of interest in me is because one of my relations by name Ramchandra Gaikwad, who was a very good singer, he had started participating in Mehr Baba programs. And because of Baba programs, Mr. Thade and Ramchandra Gaikwad, they had become friends. And because of my relation with Ramchandra Gaikwad, Thade was liking me, was treating me like his younger brother. Even though I was an inmate in the hostel where he was the chief of that hostel, the superintendent of that hostel. In spite of his position, he was treating me very specially. And because of that, I was attending Baba programs along with him. Several days throughout around the week, days were fixed for programs at different places. Sunday morning was allotted to one big family by name Bandelu. Saturday was allotted to Mr. Thade in the hostel premises. Thursday was allotted to one businessman having a footwear shop. That was program on Thursdays after 9 o'clock in the night. Then Monday at another shop, the owner of that shop was one Mr. Kamble. All these people had just started taking interest in Meher Baba. Now, amongst all these business class people, the business of one by name Bapu Sahib Shinde, where we used to have program on Thursdays. The owner was Bapu Sahib Shinde.
I'm sorry, I accidentally muted. Jyoti, can you unmute Pratap? Hello, can you unmute Pratap? Let's see.
Please say.
Pratap ji, we cannot hear. We cannot hear. We cannot hear.
Technical problem is that I am not able to get it back.
Now
It's
it
fine
is clear. Now
It's
it is
fine
fine.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now it is good.
Just a minute. Just a minute. अरे ऐकत नाही ना ताई.
आता येतंय ऐकू बोला.
Mhm.
Hello.
Yes, yes, we hear you now. Yeah, that was my mistake. I'm sorry.
Here now.
Yeah.
So that is how my contact with Meher Baba had started. And some of the what I was talking is because one of the businessmen by name Bapu Sahib Shinde had a flourishing business in footwear. The other business people in footwear also thought that the business of this person, this Shinde, is flourishing because of his following Meher Baba. So they also had started following Meher Baba. And that is how quite a good group of people, business people had gathered to attend Baba programs. But our programs at the hostel premises were going on very nicely, very happily, Again, problem?
No.
Problem.
No, no problem. We hear you well.
I do not know about the interruption, why there is a breaking of this audio. Now you can hear me, no?
Yes, it's fine. Audio's good. Yes.
All right. So, when I was attending, when Dr. Ganesh started attending our programs, the whole picture with the young boys and girls, it has changed. A very solid group had been formed. All had complete faith, conviction, love, ready to serve, intention to serve. All these were created in this young group of Baba people, Baba's lovers. And they were all attached to Dr. Ghani. Now, Dr. Ghani, little about Dr. Ghani, when he started speaking about Baba, he was giving us all the details of his life with Baba right from his childhood. Right from childhood. As we know that many of you must have seen Baba house. There is a small lane and Baba house is there. Even just opposite to that Baba house, there is a pumpkin house, which was the original house owned by Meher Baba's father. In same locality, Dr. Ganesh's family was living. But then Dr. Ganesh's father was transferred. He was working in some government department. He was transferred to perhaps Calcutta. And thereafter he went to some abroad also. Some place I do not exactly remember now, but then for a quite long time there was no contact in between these two boys who were so very thick friends, Merwan and Dr. Ghani. So Dr. Ghani, when he returned, when his father perhaps must have retired from the service or whatever it may be, I am not very much in knowledge of that about that. But then, in the meantime, Dr. Ghani got degree in homeopathy medicines. Homeopathy, he passed the course of homeopathy doctor and started his practicing in Mumbai. He was running his practice in Mumbai. He got married in the meantime. He had acquired a house in Lonavala. Lonavala is a place in between Pune and Mumbai. Not exactly half the difference, but 1/3 difference from Pune. So he had a house in Lonavala and he had a shop in Mumbai and he had started his medical practice. After about 15 years, there was all this happening in his personal life, Dr. Gani's life. He got married, he got children also. So his whole life had become entirely materialistic life. Whereas on the other hand, the other friend of his, a childhood friend of his, a childhood chum, he came in contact with Baba Jan, the perfect master of that time. And the entire life of that boy had radically changed. When Dr. Gani's life was entirely turned into a material life, Merwan's life was turned into a spiritual life, entirely spiritual life. He had got relation from Baba Jan and had just started giving short discourses to the other friends he had in that locality. He had started giving talks in the locality of Baba House. And many of the Mohammedan friends had become interested in listening to Mirwan. They had started respecting him as a someone very spiritually advanced boy, advanced person. Some of the names were one Mr. Abdur Rahman. This name do not come to my mind immediately. Anyway, I will just be telling you during my course. So they started holding meetings. And in one such a meeting, after 15 years, 15 or more years, Dr. Ghani happened to come. He came to know that he was just trying to find out his old friends in that locality. And when he came to know that such and such meeting is being held, he never knew that Merwan had attained that spiritual higher state. He never knew about that. What he thought as he is the same as his old person, old friend. And the meeting was being held at Abdul Rahman's place. Dr. Ghani happened to enter that house, that room, and from the back, Merwan's back was toward Dr. Ghani, toward the door through which Dr. Ghani came inside. And all the people, other people, listeners were sitting in the front. Ghani came from behind. This is what Ghani used to describe the whole incident. Ghani came from behind and gave a big blow on Ahir Baba's back with his fist. And all the other listeners who had gathered with respect for Merwan, they were very respectfully listening to his talk. They were taken by surprise, but who is this person who is doing, who is so very rudely behaving here with a person like Merwan? They were surprised and they were also angry, a little bit angry, displeased with Dr. Ghani. But when Merwan saw it, Dr. Ghani, they started talking very lovingly with each other, inquiring about each other's whereabouts. Baba was asking me, what do you do? Where are you now? And how was your life and all that? And Dr. Ghani was telling, and Dr. Ghani was also inquiring with Mer Baba about his They were reminded of their olden days, and they were discussing with each other very happily. And all the listeners sitting around, they were simply watching. But after this meeting, some of them knew Dr. Ghani. They came to Dr. Ghani and just said that how dare you behave like that with Mirwan? Do you know who is Mirwan now? I'm sorry. Do you know who is Mirwan now? He is not that your old friend with whom you are doing all playing with him, running after the kites, playing Atya Patya. Atya Patya is the Indian game. Playing Gilli Danda is also an Indian game. Playing cricket, playing hockey. He is not that old friend now. He has achieved a very high spiritual status. So you have to behave befitting to his status. Don't be so casual with him. They all warned him, and thereafter Dr. Ghani also felt little bit about it. He was also feeling about the very personality of Mirwan had changed. And once these things were made him to understand, then he started looking differently at Mirwan. So that was his early life with Mirwan. And when Dr. Ghani came to our group in Pune, giving us talk, he used to describe all these old time happenings. They were staying in one locality. They're running after kites. You know the game of playing kites. I do not know whether you know about it, but there are special trade which is made to have a competition in flying kites, and they just cut each other's kites, and that kite goes on hanging in the sky, and boys run after it to catch it up. It's a very famous game in Indian life. Also, there used to be Gilli Danda, there used to be Atya Patya, there used to be Kabaddi, Hotutu, then also cricket, then also hockey. So that games they were playing, and Dr. Khan used to explain to us how they used to play together, how used to fight together. There used to be two gangs, a natural gang of Mohammedans and a natural gang of these Parsi students, Parsi boys. And Dr. Ghani used to say that after all, these Parsi boys used to be very strong looking boys. And we were looking so very small and weak before them. We could not compete with them. That their games they were playing during their early days, they're all innocently playing that. One incident which Dr. Ghani had explained to us from his early life was Dr. Ghani's father had brought a a sun hat. We can just early days, the military people used to wear that sun hat. It was a khaki color, gray color sun hat. And Dr. Yunus has brought a sun hat for Dr. Gani. He was young then. So once when he was given this hat by his father, he wore it and came with a sort of a what should I say, elegantly, as if owning something very novel. And everybody started looking at him. And anytime he comes with that hat, he was often using that hat thereafter. And a good look at this young boy wearing that hat and all the others watching him. And he was taking much of pride in wearing that hat, as if he had got something very, very unusual, very rare thing. So what happened, Dr. Gani had told us this story that because of this, that's what Dr. Gani says, that because I used to wear this hat, Mirwan had started playing a mischief with that. And what was the mischief which Mirwan was playing with him? Whenever Mirwan sees Dr. Gani as a young boy wearing that hat, from somewhere, Mirwan will come and give a big hit on his, from the above on his hat, a very big hit, strong hit. And the hat will go out of shape. Then he will take it to his father, and it will be brought again to shape. From pushing from inside, it will be brought into shape. And every time Dr. Gani would wear that hat, Mirwan will play this mischief of giving a big hit from above and putting that hat out of shape. Every time it started happening, and Gani was fed up of this mischief, very much fed up. So he thought of teaching a lesson to Mirwan. And what he did was, once it so happened, what he did was, he put there small pointed pins, needles, thin needles with their points upwards. He put all around so many needles. And then, as his usual habit, when Baba saw Dr. Gani wearing his hat, he came from behind and gave a big hit on his hat. And what he found was all his hand was blooded was full of blood because of the pricks of the needles. His whole palm was blooded. That was the lesson which Dr. Gani had given to Mirwan for his mischief. And what Dr. Gani said, that thereafter Mirwan never did that mischief with him. Never made that mischief. This was the story which Dr. Gani had told us from his early life. And thereafter, when Baba had gone from Pune to Manzil in Bombay, the period was something of about 9 months. And during those days, Gani had re-established his contact with with Meher Baba, visiting practically every day this Manzil where Baba had camping. Baba had all other disciples along with him. He had walked from that Jhopadi in Ferguson Road in Pune. From there, about 40 people had walked with Mirwan to Bombay, and they all occupied a bungalow near the Dadar station. Dadar is a railway station, and the whole locality is very thick locality. But during those days, there may not be much of traffic and much of crowd there. And that bungalow was acquired for stay, and the name was given by Mir Baba as Manzil. And then at that place, Dr. Gani has started again visiting practically every day. And Baba, and they were very freely talking with each other. They were spending time with each other. And Gani had developed a sense of respect for Meher Baba. And the whole attitude was changed. But thereafter, there was a tussle in between Dr. Gani and Baba. And that tussle was that Gani had his material life, having his practice, homeopathy doctor's practice. He had a clinic there. He had a customer there, patient there. Then he had his family, wife, children, all that responsibility he had. And he was also socially, because of his what should I say, his status in society. He was made the honorary magistrate. So he was well settled in his family life, which Baba didn't want. Baba was all the time dragging out Dr. Gani from his family life, from his material life. It looks that Baba wanted him to stay with him. Baba wanted Gani to stay with him for his own reasons. And however, because of Dr. Gani's material life and responsibilities, he could not take an abrupt decision in that respect. And Baba had a patient, very with a lot of patience. He was gradually dragging Dr. Ghani to his spiritual cause. And then Dr. Ghani had acquired a very firm position in the group of Baba's Mandali, the early group of Baba's Mandali. And when Dr. Ghani used to sit with us, thereafter he started telling the incidents of his life during the period of Baba's stay in Manzilemi. Once it so happened that Baba had visited Dr. Ghani's clinic, homeopathy clinic. And Baba found that everywhere there is a dust and there is a all things scattered here and there. Not a very good look. And blaming Dr. Ghani for such a sitting in such a atmosphere, Baba took a broom. This is what Dr. Ghani had explained to us. Baba himself took a broom and swept the whole dispensary. And asked thereafter he asked Dr. Ghani, every day he has to take broom and clean the dispensary. He told Dr. Ghani to do this thereafter. But Dr. Ghani, what he told us that Baba's taking broom in his own hand and sweeping the whole room. He had swept out my whole business. His practice went on deteriorating. You are not eating medicines and lot of problems in that practice. And ultimately had to close it down. So from that one aspect of his life, he was drag out, and then he stayed in Manzilemi also along with Baba. So he, in his own style, he used to tell us that how Baba had took him out of that business, that practice of homeopathic medicines. Another incident is about Dr. Ghani trying to commit a suicide. That was in Lonavala. That is also a big story. It's practically known to everyone. That story we often used to tell. But the way Dr. Ghani used to tell is when he had a quarrel with that money lender, from whom Dr. Ghani had taken loan on his houses in a building. I have seen that building very early time. It was a row like we call it chal. Houses in a row attached to each other. and one floor, I think. So that was owned by Dr. Ghani, and he had again that property he had taken loan from that money lender, and because of the problem in repayment of the interest on that, there was quarrel in between Dr. Ghani and that money lender. It was very serious quarrel. The money lender had all abuses against Dr. Ghani, and then Dr. Ghani got so very upset that he came home and then decided to commit suicide. And for that, he went on a dam. The name of the dam is Walwal Dam. It is parallel to and close to the Bombay Pune road. He went there during night time. He consumed lot of wine, liquor. He took liquor, and practically he had lost his sense. He had drunk so much that he had lost his sense. And because the cool breeze on that wall of the dam, he got into sleep. And here, abruptly, Baba asked his Mandali to take out the car, and Baba wanted to go to Mirabar. He started for going to Mirabar. And on his way, when they came near Lonavala, for no reason, obvious reason, looking it to be a whim of Mir Baba, they had to take the car aside toward the dam. And Baba got down and started moving on that wall of that dam. And from a distance, he said there were people with him. So he said that there is some person, looks, somebody is lying there. Just go and see who is that person, why he is lying there. And one of Mahabaleshwar Mandali went there and shouted to tell Baba, Baba is Dr. Ghani. And Baba said, bring him to me. They tried to wake him up. And Dr. Ghani, looking at Baba people, he tried to run away from there. But then Baba told these people, don't let him go out. Don't let him escape from you. Hold him tight and bring him to me. And then when Dr. Ghani was brought before Baba, what Baba said is, it's good that I have come here because you have remembered me throughout your night, so much remembered me that I have to come here. And what was that remembrance? When Dr. Ghani had drunk so much, he started abusing every spiritual personality, every god of every religion. Even abusing them with bad words, ugly words, vulgar words. He had done that. And ultimately, when he came to Mir Baba, he had done the same thing to Mir Baba, saying that this Mirwan, my friend, is also claiming to be a God in human form. So he abused Baba also in a very bad words. And then when Baba said that, because you remembered me so much, I have come here, now come with me. And without allowing him to move from there, Baba brought him to the ashram in Mehrabad. And when the police, that Marwadi, that money lender, after that, with a hard quarrel with Dr. Ghani, the same night he was murdered by someone. But the first suspect was Dr. Ghani. And people, the police department was searching for Dr. Ghani. And when they came to know that Dr. Ghani was taken to Mehrabad, a place by name Mehrabad, they all came to Baba's ashram, and Baba gave a written statement there that the whole night Dr. Ghani was with him. That means in the ashram. And that is how Dr. Ghani was saved. In one of the songs which Dr. Ghani composed in his last days, he had mentioned this, particularly these two incidents. And the words were that twice there was a procession, death procession. Twice for Dr. Ghani, it was twice that death procession was taken out by Mir Baba. So this is a story until this, when next time we meet after 1 week, next week, we'll continue this story further. But before that, I would just like to sing one song, a beautiful composition. The speciality of this song is that in the year 1956, in the month of January, on 14th of January, Baba had given mass darshan to the Pune public. That darshan was given in a bungalow on the, it is called University Road. Pune University is situated on that road. So that is called the University Road. And little towards Pune side, little distance from that university, there was a bungalow, old bungalow. And in that bungalow, Baba had given darshan. That darshan had started in the morning at about 8 or 9 o'clock, and it went on up to 6 o'clock in the evening. That was a very special day, which is called a Makar Sankranti. Makar Sankranti is a festival among the Hindu community. It is it is celebrated with giving to each other some sweets with a wish that one to whom it is given, she should always talk sweet. The word is Tilgur Ghad God Bola. Take this Tilgur and speak sweet with us. It's very nice feeling during that time, and that particular sweet meat that is contains a oil seed in the middle, and it is surrounded by sugar coating, and on that sugar coating there are projections, like it looks like a star as the light rays come from the star. So the small projections of that sweet, they come out of that round. It is called Tilgul. It's a very famous festival. During that festival, Baba had given this Tilgul as prasad to Pune people. And that time, one person by name Namdev Solapuri, a very nice person, she had come and sang one song. That song I will just sing today without giving the meaning, because to give a meaning will take little time. So I will sing the song, and then next time I will take something about this Namdev Solapuri also, and also the meaning of that song. The words of the song are हासिले जिंदगी हो तुमसे है जिंदगी मेरी. The very footing of life is you, your being, and ultimate achievement of my life is achieving you. You are the whole basis of my life. हासिले जिंदगी हो तुमसे है जिंदगी. My life is because of you. It exists on the very root of your being. तुमने निगाहें फेर ली तो जिंदगी बदल गई मेरी. You have turned your eyes towards me and my whole life has changed. तेरा मलाल है गम मिला, तेरी खुशी मेरी खुशी. Your unhappiness is my unhappiness. Your agony is my agony. Your grief is my grief. तेरा मलाल है गम मिला, तेरी खुशी खुशी मेरी. Your happiness is my happiness. ये तो सच है कि बावफा तुझसे है जिंदगी मेरी. My beloved, God, my very life is because of you. It all entirely depends upon you. My life, the whole life is for you. तेरी खुशी में खुश हूं मैं. I am happy in your happiness. मेरी खुशी खुशी नहीं, ये तो सच है कि बाबा तुझसे जिंदगी मेरी. The next stanza is, anyway, I will just sing first time. हासिल जिंदगी हो तुमसे है जिंदगी मेरी. हासिल जिंदगी हो तुमसे है जिंदगी मेरी. हासिल जिंदगी हो हासिल जिंदगी हो तुमसे है जिंदगी मेरी. हासिल जिंदगी हो तुमसे है जिंदगी मेरी. तुमने निगाहें फेर ली तुमने निगाहें फेर ली दुनिया बदल गई मेरी. तुमने निगाहें फेर ली दुनिया बदल गई मेरी. हासिल जिंदगी तेरा मलाल है गम मेरा. तेरा मलाल है गम मेरा. तेरी खुशी खुशी जिसे है बेवफा. ये तो सच है कि वो बेवफा तुझसे है जिंदगी मेरी. ये तो सच है कि ये बेवफा तुझसे है जिंदगी मेरी. हासिल जिंदगी तेरा मलाल है गम मेरा. तेरा मलाल है गम मेरा. तेरी खुशी मेरी खुशी. ये तो सच है कि बाबा तुझसे है जिंदगी मेरी. हासिल जिंदगी हो तेरी खुशी में खुश मैं. मेरी खुशी खुशी नहीं. तेरी खुशी में खुश मैं. मेरी खुशी खुशी मेरी. ये न पूछ मुझको किस तरह ये न पूछ मुझसे किस तरह कटती है जिंदगी ये न पूछो मुझसे किस तरह कटती है जिंदगी मेरी आशी जिंदगी हो तुम. The meaning of the second stanza is also beautiful. What he says is, in your happiness, my happiness. Don't ask me how I am spending my life. Don't ask me how my life is passing. So this song was sung and Baba liked it very much. Thereafter, once it was also sung in Guruprasad by the same person. And then Baba had himself given the meaning of this song in English. So for today, I think it's a time for us to say Avatar Meba 3 times. Anything from your side, please tell me, please speak out. Otherwise,
I wanted to ask about the hat
yes, please.
and Baba hitting the hat. But what was the end? Gani put needles in the hat and Baba hit it and then he never hit it again. What was in there were needles? Gani put needles in the hat.
You're talking about that sun hat.
Yeah. The last time Baba hit it
He had put needles pointing upwards. He had pricked those needles. Now it is a thick, quite thick hat.
Yeah.
So he had put through the covers of that hat, put needles with pointed upwards. And when Baba gave his hit from up from the top, all the needles had pricked Baba's palm, and it was all got blooded. And that was the lesson Dr. Ganesh taught to Baba.
Wow.
Not to play that mischief again.
Oh,
You got it now? You got the answer? Your question, query?
Yeah.
So these were the games they were playing in their early days, fighting with each other, gang wars and all those things. Dr. Ganesh used to tell that as facing the gangs of these Iranis, it was not a equal challenge because they were very stout and healthy people. Iranis were healthy, and before them, these communists used to look very weak and less strong. So what they used to do is, if one person from the Iranis is found lonely, then they will take him to task. You got me? One boy from that Irani, he is found alone, then this Mohammedan group will attack on him. And they will take a revenge. These were even the flying of cats is a very enjoyable game. What happens that these these cats are made out of thin cloth, thin paper with very thin sticks stuck and in a square shape and tying a thread, long thread, which was wound on a reel, wooden reel. That thread is wound on that reel, and one end is tied to that kite, and by the flow of the wind, it goes up in the sky. It goes up the sky. There are other people also. They are flying the kites there, and then they play sort of a making some friction in between two kites. The threads, they are in friction with each other, and stronger one wins. The weaker one gets detached from that kite, gets detached from that whole connection of thread, and it keeps on flying in the sky, and it will go flying from here to there, and the other boys will run to catch it and own it. That is a very good. And in that, the boys get so much involved, so much. They don't care for crossing the roads, even on the trees and buildings and all that. Very nice, enjoying game. There is in this. I was telling about the Sankranti, the Tilgul giving sweets to each other in Gujarat. In Gujarat, especially in Surat. Surat is a city, big city in Gujarat, Gujarat state. There is
Mhm. Oh. Hmm.
Uh,
Yeah.
I like its pose.
Oh, wait a minute. Oh dear.
I liked hearing about the kites.
Yes. Oh, and
Yeah.
the needles. What a strange story about the
on this
needles.
festival Sankranti.
Oh
He's,
my goodness.
he's gone.
Oh, no, the channel's still there, Vivo 1610.
Oh,
Maybe he'll be back.
oh yeah, yeah.
I want to know who was fighting with the Iranis? Who was the opposing
I
side?
think the Muslim, was it Muslim?
Oh,
I think
oh,
they were the Iranians were stronger.
yes, healthy.
I
Right.
think it was the Muslims that Ghani was Muslim.
Mm, mm.
He didn't look terrifically strong, but he was.
Oh, thanks. Yeah. That,
Yeah, I love hearing it. That
oh,
Ghani always brings stuff out of the hat. Speaking of the hat, do you believe that? I mean, it drew blood.
yeah.
So Bubba was whacking him hard.
It was more than a prank then. It was, golly, it was.
Yeah. And the hat was thick. I'd like to see with the hat. I never seen him with a hat on. He was always dressed with a vest, well dressed.
Well,
Yeah.
earlier he told this story of how he had a new hat from his father, a nice which he wore to the early meetings with the boys. He wear this nice hat.
Oh,
Maybe
so his father gave him the hat.
that's my remembering.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Oh, well, let's see.
I guess he's not coming back.
Well, Don't give up yet. Remember, he wasn't going to come at all. We thought he wasn't coming at all.
Oh, it's really hard with us every other week. Who could ever remember, you know?
He said he's coming next week.
No, week after next. He said he corrected himself. Week after. Next week is Mayor Krupa, and then it's him again. It's every other week now.
Did anybody see the full moon? I didn't see it. Did anybody see the moon?
I
Well,
wonder if
it'll
I should-
be tonight.
I'm
Well, it
gonna
was
post-
supposed to be part last night too, but